Over the last 3 years, we have had a lot of farmers calling us, just talking to us throughout the year about all the drift and volatility issues with dicamba. So when a lot of people heard us talk about the new Enlist One product, the new 2,4-D, I got a lot of feedback like, hey, what are you doing? We're already having all these issues with dicamba. Now we're going to have more issues with 2,4-D. But we want to talk today about how we're not seeing volatility and drift issues with Enlist One and how you can best use Enlist One on your farm.
Well, it has been kind of sad, Brian, because with the fear of drift and volatility, there have been a lot of farmers who have bought the technology and the seed, but not used the corresponding herbicide on top of it. Now, I'm going to say whether it's dicamba or any of these products, you can use them. You just have to be smart about when you're applying it. So let's talk about this Enlist One and Enlist E3 soybeans and how we're going to use this product.
Okay, so first of all, with Enlist One on Enlist soybeans, it's actually labeled up to R2. That's full flower. That's later than you can spray Roundup, later than you can spray Liberty. It's later than you can spray many herbicides in soybeans. So right away you're going, whoa, that's really late. That could be late July on my farm. Yup, that's absolutely true. Now, would I spray it in late July on my farm? I absolutely would. We've been using this product for going on 6 years now. We have yet to see it volatilize or have major drift issues.
And the good thing about Enlist One as well, Brian, if you are spraying a little bit later, you don't have to worry about mixing all kinds of other things with it. You don't have to mix drift retardants and adjuvants and all those things in there. What you do have to focus on, though, is what your droplet size is going to be and using the right spray tips so you don't have all the fines. Especially as we get later into the season, you need to worry about fines for a couple reasons. One is, yes, they can blow around. But two is they could evaporate. As we get into the heat of the summer and you've got tiny, tiny little droplets, there's a chance they could evaporate before they even hit the target wheat. So we definitely don't want to see that. So watch the label, check out what you need for the right nozzles for Enlist One, and make sure that you're not just using the same nozzles that you already have set up on the sprayer for something else.
Yeah, probably the biggest thing that I would say is regardless of when you're spraying Enlist, we always have to be concerned about the wind. If the wind physically moves your spray over to a sensitive crop, obviously that's a problem. So you've got to leave at least a 30-foot buffer if you have those types of situations. Now, I told you a little earlier, I wouldn't mind personally spraying it well into July as long as I'm still on label and I'm not at R2 in soybeans, but you may not be comfortable with that. So here's the nice thing with Enlist One. Yes, I feel perfectly fine with it, but you can use it as a burn down product. You can use it as an early post spray, mid post, whatever, if you don't want to go real late, because in Enlist soybeans, you have the option to spray Roundup and you have the option to spray Liberty. So two other real good herbicides. The other thing that I'll tell you with Enlist One, it's 2,4-D. It basically kills the same weeds as the old 2,4-D. Now again, the drift and volatility properties totally different than the old 2,4-D. But where I'm going with this is if you have grass, if you have volunteer corn, the Enlist One is absolutely not going to do it. The other thing is, if your weeds get big, don't count on control. It's not like when Roundup first came out and you could kill a 3-foot tall weed. It doesn't work that way with any 2,4-D out there. Those weeds need to be small. Ideally, we'd like to see you spray the weeds when they're 1 to 4 inches tall.
And because it doesn't kill everything out there like Roundup used to, you're going to have to mix some things with it if you've got multiple things to go after. Now, most commonly, we're seeing Liberty mixed with Enlist One, and that's going to be good on grasses and all the broadleaf weeds, but it is going to miss the volunteer corn.
All right, Darren just said Liberty will not kill volunteer corn. It actually could, but it can't be Liberty tolerant corn, obviously. Here's the other thing we learned mixing Liberty together with 2,4-D. It's amazing. If you want to see the best weed killing you're ever going to see, put Liberty together with 2,4-D. Now, you might not like the cost, so a lot of people have said, well, can I cut the rate of one or the other? The big thing we learned in all our tank mix trials last year is don't cut the Liberty. Keep the Liberty rate high. All right, other than that, I guess we would just tell you Enlist One, very nice product. We really, really like it. Not all the volatility and drift of the old 2,4-D. Cost isn't too bad. Using a quart is going to cost roughly around $8 or $9.
But you may be asking yourself, will Enlist One kill our weed of the week? We'll talk about that coming up later in the show.